Hey guys, it's been a few days, but welcome back. I finally have some time to make a new video, and we have some huge news and break even. We have some huge breakthrough news events about my portfolio for this episode. So stay tuned. For those of you who don't know, I'm kind of recording the processes and the day to day that I use to try to get my portfolio to $1 million. I have a feeling it will eventually happen, but you're getting in at the ground level to see how I actually did it instead of me just saying, "Oh yeah, copy these moves." I'm selling puts. I have like $5 million now. I'm just selling puts. Learn how to make 10,000 a month selling puts when you gotta put up like 5 million in collateral to do that. So here I am with a 128K portfolio, and all right. So the first bit of I want to say news is that I have finally reached freaking break even on this. So I am extremely happy. I started off in 2015 with 116K. Well, actually, that's not true. I started off in 2015 with a little bit of money, but after trading through COVID and a whole bunch of other shenanigans, I've finally reached a break even of 10%. I have severely underperformed the S&P 500 because through over that time the S&P 500 would have like gotten like 300% from what I heard. So this is not for the faint of heart, but in my defense, I was out of the market for quite a while. It's just like all of these flat lines is when this account was deactivated. So this metric is not really that fair. I would say it would be fair if I started measuring in around like 2020, where I started actively trading options, and yeah, I absolutely crashed. And by the time it was like 2022, I got wiped out. Once again, this endeavor is not for the faint of heart. All right, it's not for the people who get panicked, who scare easily, and who just want safe returns. Just buy the S&P 500 index if you're into that. All right, so count flatline for a few years. I only recently started trading again in, I want to say, August of 2024. So it would be fair to start measuring there. So August of 2024, I put like, since then I've contributed roughly 87,000. So I think it'll be more fair if we just did this. All right. So yeah, you can see August of 2024, I put in some more money, and then we got locked into that Nvidia trap, and we basically wow, it literally moved sideways for a while, and then it went up, and then Donald Trump went all the way down. I added money down here. I added a lot of money down here. So that turned out to be a pretty good decision, and then it bounced up, and then we're in this huge rally. So you could say that my skill was luck, or you could say it was my awesomeness, but whatever. 1 year performance 46%. We beat the S&P 500 pretty handily. Year to date 67%. Most of it thanks to this bounce right here. Thank you. If I really want to be like a braggadocious, I could do 3 months. I made over 200%. Well, that's just bullshit. Everyone knows that. 1 month, just me, stomping around. So I'm really happy. Our portfolio's reached nearly all-time highs. We still gotta beat those April 2021 highs of 130K, but it's like a couple of thousand off. At this point, it's like 6% off. I could just literally just sell everything, throw it into spot, and I'll probably hit that point. But that's not what we're here for, right? So monster gains this week. I want to say just monster gains, just month overall. That's the first bit of news, is that I have finally broken even, or actually exceeded break even by a couple of points here. Okay, awesome. All right, if you guys actually want to see how I did this, realized in the past week I have 10K in option gains, but if my realized gains, it's around 6,000 to 13,000. Right here you can see the plays. I'll walk you guys through some of the plays that I made this week. All right, it's the smaller ones. You just take small losses. You don't want these losses to compound too much. Keep losses small. So I just trimmed the UNH after the whole Medicare fiasco thing. I didn't really like it. So I just got out. Took a $400 loss. Yeah, I was pretty mad, but I was like, whatever. I got tired of this position, so I just took it. All right, so one of the secret monster gains that I still have positions in is TSM. It's on a humongous monster rally gain right here. I got in at around like here somewhere. So ever since then, it's just like freaking like blowing up. And I think if you got in right here, it would have been even better. Anyway, this thing's a monster. It has not even touched the median average line, like besides like right here and here. But like this thing's a freaking monster. I have some leaps on there. I'll show you now. Are these? No wait. Okay, you know what? I still have some leaps. I'll show you guys later. But right now we're just talking about the trades that I took this week. So got a $900 gain from TSM. Another 400. Target. Remember that 1 day reversal? I tried to hit that. It didn't work. So I just took the losses. $10. Whatever. Keep your losses small. CNC, no idea what the heck I was doing. I tried to throw in $1,000 to catch that cat bounce. Didn't work. Took losses. TSM, I followed a Dunin X52. Didn't really work. It was super small position. Took I put in from this math. You can tell I put in like $200 on this, and then I put in another like I don't know like $1,000. No wait, that's not another $100 on this. Didn't work 2 times. SoundCloud. Took the wins here, 18%. All right, so this was a roll, Oscar roll. I still believe in Oscar. It's just that the markets got panicked and then they freaked out over the whole Medicare Advantage plan thing. Oscar doesn't sell Medicare Advantage, so I believe it's being unfairly priced for an event that's not even a part of. So this is like actually a really good opportunity to buy this because the market completely mispriced this thing. Kind of like that whole NVIDIA DeepSeek shit. Market completely mispriced Oscar based on the events of the sector that's in, but it does not sell Medicare Advantage plans. So don't know why people are panic selling that. NNE, it was a kind of like an Andrew Cuomo nuclear play. I'm located in New York, so Andrew Cuomo is running the Democratic primaries. He lost, so I'm guessing that's why the stock's tanking. Took the loss. The whole position was like $1,000 something. I took the loss, $180 loss right here. Another Soundhound play. I sold some puts. Took a $69 win. That's a lot of losses. I took a loss right here too. Took the loss right here. Took a loss right here. Took a loss right here on a calls. NVIDIA took a loss. So if you notice, I'm taking a lot of losses in the bull market. So I might not be the best person to listen to. But if you take another thing, it's that, yeah, it's a lot of losses, but all these losses are pretty small. I mean, I could do better, like, managing the percentages, but overall, the amount of the losses, I'm trying to, like, work on keeping them small. It's like $52, $56. So I'm, like, rapidly opening a lot of positions, but I'm also closing them if they're, like, not working in my favor. All right, so another freaking huge monster performer for me this week was Robinhood, the stock. Like, look at this. I easily made like freaking $4,000 or $5,000 off of this, selling these Robinhood calls that I bought. Robinhood had a huge freaking monster rally this week. Look at that. Oh my God, it's just boom. I think people are anticipating a S&P 500 inclusion. It could happen. I 100% believe it will happen. So, yeah, I just did that. I followed a friend of mine on Discord into this BBAI play, made $24. Not much, but it's nice to see something green. All right, once again, back to Robinhood. I'm taking mad gains here. It's like 1,000 something. Like, one of these gains can easily wipe out all these like micro losses. All right, so cut your losses early, let your gains run. That's the motto. All right, so more Robinhood gains down here. I just started trimming my position. And MSTR lost. So once again, I was trying out this new strategy. It was like RSI based. It didn't really work for me. Um, yeah, that's all the gains for the week. Well, if you want to go zoom out a little bit more, I want to show you the week before that, maybe a few days before that. I made a bunch of money off of hymns too. So where did it go? Where did it go? All right, so TSM started taking like wins back here. So I used to have a lot more PSM, so I kind of flip flop in and out of it for a little bit. But I was taking, making money both sides. All right, there we go. The hymns, plays. So the hymns, as you know, it kind of bounced from like 40 something all the way up to 52. I took all of my money out at like around 51. So those are my hymns gains, 80%, 30%, like a huge week. Made some money off of Moo too. That's fake. That's actually fake. I had a calendar spread, so that was offsetted by my back call. I took some losses there. All right, so overall, I took my winnings from hymns, compounded into Robinhood, and then I went into TSM and other plays. All right, so I should probably cut this bit short a little bit. Yeah, I should probably cut it short. Okay, part two. Part two of the equation. What are my new positions and are they justifiable? All right, so I have a Robinhood call sell right here, so I'm kind of bearish a little bit. Maybe I think it's gonna dip and consolidate maybe for the next week or two. This was actually part of a roll call, so this was the strike was lower, but then it blew past it, so I had a roll. All right, so my heaviest positions right now is in Apple, TSM, Google, and PLTR. All right, and I have very strong conviction in those stocks. All right, I'm just gonna run you through the charts real quick. All right, so my favorite one out of all of these is Apple. You see this textbook, like wedge breakout play right here. It's just like boom, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. At the same time, right here is like higher lows, higher lows. Like slowly consolidating, kind of like how Nvidia is moving. These big companies, they move in like very predictable fashion because they're like mega $1 trillion cap companies. All right, so right here you see that it's a breakout. It needs to still pass through this 213 resistance area before it could be a true breakout, but I'm already in. I think Apple is not moving any lower from here. I think it's probably gonna go up probably to like the 220s level, maybe around here before it starts to sell, like waver a little bit. So that's one of my heaviest positions. I have roughly 15 to 20% of my money in it. Another thing I'm working on is proper risk mitigation. Not too much money all in one position, like I was doing with when I was moving around right here in this area. All my money was in Nvidia, and as you know, Nvidia kind of just moved sideways for like a whole year and then some. So yeah, just get your money more diversified. Because that way, if you take a hit on one side, you can still have some money going for the other side. All right, you guys probably seen this earlier, but another one of my favorite stocks is TSM. It's kind of Nvidia sympathy trade. Nvidia gets all of its chips from TSM, and TSM is making big moves. And Donald Trump loves TSM because they're building out new fabs in Arizona. All right, this stock is gonna be nonstop roaring, I believe, from here to the next few years probably. As the AI trade heats up, people needs chips, and the only fabs in the freaking game that are capable of producing high-end chips is this guy right here. So if Nvidia is a monopoly, this is even more of a monopoly, because what's Intel gonna do with this shitty ass 13 nm fabs? These guys are on 2 nms. So the smaller the NMs, the better it is or something. So Intel's on like 13, TSM is on 2. So there's like a lot of NMs separating the two. They have a huge moat on producing these. And who else you could go to? Samsung on what is freaking Xenos chips. Like, no, they can't even compete against Qualcomm. These guys are the only guys left in the goddamn game that makes these chips, AI chips. The whole AI thing is going to be powered by freaking TSM and their chips and their fabs. So, excellent stock right here. This thing's probably, whatever the price is probably undervalued because it has a room for a lot more value. Talking about undervalue, another undervalued play is Google. They're seen as this like victim type of thing from all this AI stuff. So before they dominated search, and now they're saying like ChatGPT and whoever is eating their lunch alive. Well, recently, I don't have it right here. But, if you do like a little search, is Google undervalued? AI mode right here, bro. Google is going on an offense with its Gemini AI, and honestly, I quite like it. I think it's a lot more like detailed and gives better, more cohesive, numbers backed like answers than ChatGPT. To each their own, but the stock is heavily beaten down for all the stuff that it does have. I believe somewhere around double digit revenue growth every year or something. Not sure about the exact details, but it's undervalued compared to what it actually should be at. They also have Waymo and stuff that's already rolling out driverless taxis, auto driving, robots. They have a lot of stuff up their sleeve, but people just aren't seeing them for the complete powerhouse monsters that they are. That's my view on it. It's just people aren't like pricing in the fact that they have all these things going on in the AI space, and they have basically all of the internet data for this. So people are sleeping on Google. That's when I like to go in. Look at this. You're basically priming yourself up for one of these runs up here. It's a little bit shaky. Right now the price is a bit far from the support line right here. But, overall, another key thing I'm working on is don't miss the forest for the trees. Overall, the forest looks good. It's going to keep going up. These are just the trees. Some ticks will be down. Some days it will be down, and I'm completely fine with that. I'm going to try to add when it hits the orange line. But I do have like roughly 10% portfolio position in this stock. Another favorite stock of mine, Palantir. If Google fails, then Palantir would eat its lunch. So that's my view on things. So I bought some around like right here. I'm trying to add. I think it's most likely gonna bounce off the orange line and just continue all the way up to like 150, 160. I think this company still has a lot more room to run. It's probably gonna be the first $1 trillion pure software company. Like as much as Microsoft runs, with all of this subscriptions and whatnot, like this, boom, boom, boom. I think Palantir should follow this, like probably just up trajectory, because it's even like based off its revenue, it's might be a little bit overvalued right now. But I think for what they deliver, this company still has room to run. So I have like 10% position in that. And that concludes most of my big positions. Let me open up my phone so you guys can see here. Any other notable? I still have 200 shares of Nvidia and just primed and ready to go. HUD, I'm still holding on to some of that. ASTS, that was just a random YOLO play that kind of worked out. Now I'm selling costs against it, and I'm getting stuck with those. All right. Yeah, some of these are just random YOLO calls. Let me see if they like print or not. Okay, let me see what's my next topic. All right, what do I think is gonna go on in the month of July? Donald Trump tariff talks are still in play here. He might, go a little crazy, do a little something. He's in talks with EU and whatever, but if the taco trade's still alive, then he'll most likely back out of it. I don't know. Things do seem to be going their way a little bit. Like we have deals with Vietnam, we have deals with Great Britain, and I think of some other guys. You know, they're starting to Donald Trump just basically wants some wins, right? So he wants everyone to kind of, you know, give him something so he can dial home and call it a win. So I think the fear is a bit overblown. So if there's any like dips right here, I would definitely buy in. So I still have like 30, I want to say like 20% cash ready to buy into all this stuff. Yeah, like just look at that dip right here. Boom, it's like now here. Maybe you'll dip back to around 580 before going up again, but I don't think it's gonna dip too much, especially with everyone just buying the dips nowadays. Right here might be a tiny bit overextended, but you know, if you look at it from like February perspective, then this is like where we should have been already if Donald Trump didn't do all those tariffs. So yeah. Also, another thing is the Fed, right? So I think the Fed, if the job numbers keep getting worse and worse, the Fed might be their hands might be forced to cut the interest rates. So it's kind of like the dichotomy of like what you might call it, dichotomy of the Fed cutting versus Trump's tariffs. So if the market like can digest both of that information at the same time, it's probably gonna be like, I want to say neutral bullish. I don't really see a giant like bear thing going on anytime soon. I think it's gonna be neutral bullish for maybe a few months out from here, because yeah, it's just those two counteract each other. It's like, oh, are they gonna like lower the rates? Because if they lower the rates, then we're going on a fucking tear. But then like at the same time, it's like, oh, we're gonna do like actually gonna come through with the tariff fears and stuff, and that's might like lower the market. But like from past observations, like from the past observations of the 2018, 2018 Chinese tariffs wars. What's this? 2018? Yeah, it looks something like this. Same play here, right? Like Trump probably did some tariff shenanigans with China here, and we dipped, and then we came right back up, and then we kind of just went neutral bullish right here, all the way up to 2020, and then we had a giant drop. But yes, I think we're probably in here somewhere right now. Literally, you know, we're gonna have maybe a deadline drop of like a few points from here, and then keep going up. Yeah, that's about it for me. Huge month, I guess. Haven't been updating lately. Been super busy with life, so a huge month. Portfolio was finally at break even thanks to this, you know, mega bull rally. I want to say some of it came from my own luck, but mostly it's because everything's just going up and I managed to catch it. So I'm not too like not trying to sell a course or anything, but yeah, that's about it for me.